President Biden versus Donald Trump is going to be must-see TV. Biden's not going to be able to keep up.
All right, so we're excited about the debate, aren't we? I mean, honestly, part of me thinks it's still not going to happen. I just can't believe the Democrats are going to let him out there. He must be so pumped up and wired with whatever to make it through. That said, people who are in the business of news, who talk about the news, talk about politics, or do a show like this, we're very excited. This is going to be a gold mine of material to work with. And, one of our colleagues, Charlamagne the God, he's a morning radio host syndicated mostly to African-American stations around the country. It's called the Morning Club. No, the Breakfast Club. That's what it's called. He is very excited about the debate. And here's his commentary on what you're about to see.
But President Biden versus Donald Trump is going to be must-see TV. And I'm going to tell you something, man. I saw something today where they said that they're going to moderate the conversation by muting the person so they can't interrupt. And there's not going to be no notes, no help from aides in between. So this shit is like a real live freestyle battle. Good luck, President Joe Biden.
Yeah.
I mean,
good luck.
The muting of the mics helps Biden a lot more.
Yeah.
No, it doesn't.
So because the interruptions from Trump will just throw him off.
Don't matter.
He gets thrown off already.
It don't matter. Here's the thing. Do you not want Trump to be interrupted? So you're thinking about it one way. You're just going to let Trump go? And you can't jump in, and you 80 plus years old and trying to keep up with every single lie he's going to lay out. Are you serious?
You got a point there.
Biden's not gonna be able to keep up.
Yes.
All right, it is remarkable from our perspective to watch this because they really do believe this and they think this. You look back on the debate 4 years ago, and you think of every single factual point Donald Trump made about Hunter Biden, the corrupt Biden crime family, money from Ukraine, money from Russia, the Hunter Biden laptop. And what was Joe Biden's response? This is all Russian disinformation. 51 intelligence experts have said that this is a Russian operation. He's lying. They're all lying. My son did nothing wrong. We never got money from the Chinese. We never got money from Russia. It's all lies. And these guys saw the same debate we did. And these guys are not stupid. And they're sitting there saying, oh, I can't believe they're just going to let Trump lie and lie and lie and lie. Joe Biden has one skill set, okay? He was a lousy senator. He was a lousy vice president. He's a disaster as a president. You can't look at his 50-plus career and show anything positive and constructive that this man has done in public service for the United States of America to advance our cause of freedom, liberty, and a great way of life here at home or abroad. He's done nothing, but I will give him this. He has one skill set, one thing that he's great at, that he's been able to demonstrate from day one in public life, and that is the man can lie. The man can lie without any shame. He can lie with aplomb. We've got the clips. We've seen the video from 50-plus years. It doesn't matter. He has no shame. He can lie with the best of them, and that's exactly what he'll do. And here's these guys sitting there. Oh, I can't believe they're going to let Trump lie at the debate. A little bit more of this clip.
Interesting.
It's going to be, listen, I don't know. Maybe it won't be bad. Maybe they got some new shit they've been working on, some super serum.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And they're going to shoot
It's going to be bad.
It's going to be bad.
Yeah.
And it's going to be so joke-filled. What do I write about in the book, Chris? Donald Trump is dangerous because he's funny.
Yeah.
He's dangerous because he's funny.
Yeah.
He's going to give us one of the greatest stand-up specials we've ever seen on June 27th. The names he's probably working on for Joe, the shit he going to come with about Hunter.
Yeah.
Oh, my God. He smokes crack, doesn't he, Joe? He smokes crack. Does he smoke crack, Joe?
Yeah.
Yo, he might go there with the dead kids.
He already went there.
I know.
He went there in the last debate.
I know.
I couldn't believe Biden didn't smack him.
You can't
I'm
wait.
just saying that you're putting Joe in a really bad situation.
Yeah.
And you're expecting Joe's going to come in there with all his decorum and presidential stature and years of being an elected official, all dignified.
Yeah.
No, man. No. If you going in there with that mentality, you already lost.
Joe Biden, with his decorum, and his even temper. Have they not been watching this guy screaming with veins bulging and his face turning red as he calls everybody who opposes him names and MAGA fascists and challenging people to push-ups behind the barn and all that? He's like, the guy's an absolute maniac the way he screams today. He's got dementia. And they're like, oh, he's got such decorum. Decorum? He is right about one thing, though. Trump's superpower is his humor. It is. He's a likable guy. Even if you don't like him, you got to laugh at his delivery and some of the stuff he comes up with. At this lie that he's going to go after, what is this? The dead son? Donald Trump has never said anything about Beau Biden, Joe Biden's dead son. This is another lie that Joe Biden either twisted or because he's so brain-addled came up with. When Donald Trump was attacking Hunter Biden, the crackhead criminal, convicted felon, when he went after him, Joe Biden pretended like he was attacking his deceased son, which he was not. And now suddenly it's become this urban legend that these two morons have perpetuated. Listen, like these two, the rest of the mainstream media are consistently wrong. They were wrong about Hillary Clinton. They are wrong about Joe Biden. They are wrong about Democrats. And most importantly, they are wrong about Donald Trump. Well, and actually even more importantly than that, they're wrong about you. They have never understood you. They have never understood or even cared to try to understand the Trump voter and the Trump supporter. Now, Frank Luntz earlier today was on CNN and sort of echoed those. Right? And by the way, Frank Luntz is often wrong about all of this stuff, but at least he is self-aware enough to actually point it out to everyone else in the room.
If I win, I am going to instruct my attorney general to get a special prosecutor to look into your situation.
It's just awfully good that someone with the temperament of Donald Trump is not in charge of the law in our country.
Because you'd be in jail.
What is it about these moments? What is it about those moments you think struck a chord and had such an impact? What does this represent?
Because nobody expected Donald Trump to say that. And the pundits really condemned him for doing it. And our voters said, wait a minute, he's holding her accountable. It's about time that politicians are held accountable. That's one of the great frustrations in America. That's why we're so angry, because we think politicians will say and do anything and then actually do exactly the opposite of what they promise.
Even if he's kind of suggesting would be like directing his Justice Department to go after a political opponent.
And that's exactly what the pundits said. Mm-hmm. And the voters said, he's actually going to do this. I want someone who's that tough, who's going to look me straight in the eye. And the opposite was Barack Obama, looking people and saying, I get you, I understand you, I appreciate you, I applaud you. Voters are looking for someone to speak to them, to look at them, to mean what they say what they mean, and do what they promise to do.
Yeah. In fact, one of the things that frustrated a lot of us is that as soon as he became president, he turned the other cheek. I mean, I was really magnanimous of him and generous of him and downright New Testament of him to say, yeah, you know what, we've been through enough and Hillary's been through enough. I won the election. Let's just move on. I'm not going to get a special prosecutor to investigate Hillary Clinton. And well, I hope he learned his lesson. Because look what happened. This is what happens when you're magnanimous and generous and turn the other cheek with people who are ready to knife you in the back. One other thing. This is at 8 in the morning today, Kevin, this clip. This was this morning, right? Frank Luntz at 8 a.m. I'm looking at the timestamp there. 5 a.m. Pacific, 8 a.m. Did you pick up on something from Frank Luntz's delivery here? Is it me? Is he had a couple shots of tequila? Is he or maybe like a bottle of Bordeaux? I mean, listen, I enjoy the odd cocktail now and again, usually late in the day after my workday. I mean, to be fair, my workday ends in about 15 minutes. So I can just start, going off on a bender. But listen to Frank Luntz here. I don't mean to be gratuitous, but, I don't know Frank anything. He's slurring his speech. It's 8 in the morning, Frank.
But wait a minute. He's holding her accountable. It's about time that politicians are held accountable. That's one of the great frustrations in America. That's why we're so angry, because we think politicians will say and do anything.
Politicians will say anything. Has he always talked like that? All right. Just as a quick reminder, though, our final little segment here about the debate this Thursday, CNN, as you know, they're going to be the hosts of the debate. And Dana Bash is one of the moderators. We spent a lot of time talking about Jake Tapper yesterday when they pulled that microphone from the Trump spokesman because she couldn't possibly be accusing CNN's Jake Tapper of any sort of political bias. This clip surfaced yesterday of Dana Bash, the other debate moderator. Let's see what she had to say the day the Supreme Court decided that Donald Trump can't be removed from ballots across the country this November.
Here's a question that I have, because it is, again, it seems like the Supreme Court is in a bubble, or perhaps it's some of the justices are in a bubble, and they're not dealing with, I mean, when they say, oh, Congress can do this, there are members of Congress, and we can go through the list, who are never going to do anything that would make life difficult for Donald Trump. So to think that the Congress is going to solve this, they barely can get a post office name these days.
Yeah, by the way, the premise of that, Jim Acosta is such a hack and either illiterate or just a liar. It's like, well, they're not dealing in reality. The Supreme Court says Congress can do this, but Congress isn't going to do it. So what? That's not the point. This isn't about what. So Jim Acosta, in Jim Acosta's world, the Supreme Court should say, well, constitutionally, Congress should do this. But since they're not, we're just going to go and do it ourselves, even though no one elected us. That's the government Jim Acosta wants, and his pals in the media. He doesn't even recognize the constitutional role of these branches of government. What he just asks is a complete non sequitur and irrelevant. It doesn't matter if Congress will do it or not. The point is, it's their role to do it, not the courts, not the state Supreme Court in Colorado in this case, and certainly not the executive branch. But see, totalitarians don't think that way. See, totalitarians think, I know what's best, and the way I want it is the way it needs to be. So I don't care how it gets done. We're just going to do it, and you're going to do what we say. That's it. That's a totalitarian, and that's Jim Acosta. And now here comes Dana Bash. Again, I remind you, the moderator of this Thursday's debate.
It's true. I mean, and you can go down the list of Supreme Court decisions that kicked whatever issue over across the street over to Congress, whether it is, Obamacare, which is something that the Democrats were very happy about when they did that, a little bit of a different kind of court. Voting rights, I think, is maybe the primary example of what you're saying before this. Look, unfortunately for America, the court isn't necessarily wrong that this is the way the framers wanted it to be. They wanted Congress, the people who are closest to their constituents, to be able to make the rules of the laws.
Unfortunately for America, the Supreme Court is going to allow Donald Trump on the ballot this November. Unfortunately for America, voters actually will have a choice. And if they so choose, they can vote for Donald Trump. Unfortunately for America, she's the moderator. She's the moderator of the debate. Just as a quick reminder, since we're on CNN, this is what happened yesterday when the spokesperson for the Trump campaign tried to deliver facts to the viewers of CNN about Jake Tapper and about Dana Bash and the moderation of this debate.
It takes someone 5 minutes to Google Jake Tapper, Donald Trump, to see that Jake Tapper has consistently
stop this interview if you're going to keep attacking my colleagues. Ma'am, I'm going to stop this interview if you continue to attack my colleagues. I would like to talk about Joe Biden and Donald Trump, who you work for.
Yes.
If you are here to speak on his behalf, I am willing to have this conversation.
I am stating facts that your colleagues have stated in the past.
Okay.
Now,
I'm sorry, guys. We're going to come back out to the panel. Caroline, thank you very much for your time. You are welcome to come back at any point. She is welcome.
She's so breathless. She's like red in the face. She's so excitable. She's so, I can't believe Rice is going to do this. And I go, we cannot let you say those things. Don't say those things. So everybody was really interested in what would happen this morning on CNN's morning show. See, that was yesterday morning, where they would not allow the official spokesman for the Trump campaign to speak the truth about CNN. They cut off her microphone. They took her off the air. They pulled the plug on the whole thing because what the spokesperson spokesperson for the Trump campaign said was not going to be fit for their viewers. So, of course, we all tuned in this morning. And we're like, okay, well, what is appropriate? What is the appropriate kind of content from CNN's perspective for their viewers on the morning show? If it's not a political discussion with the official representative of the Trump campaign, then what can we talk about on CNN's morning show? And, well, take a look. We learned the answer to that question. We learned this.
I'm curious for you, first of all, what this day means to you. And second of all, have both Democrats and Republicans agreed to meet with you?
Yes, we will be meeting with both Democrats and Republicans. And I'm really excited to go speak with all of our lawmakers about the attacks that we're seeing on our LGBTQ community. It's so important to talk about and to discuss protections for our queer community.
Can I let you listen to the current sentiment that's being shared by former President Donald Trump, who, of course, is running for re-election? Here it is.
We're going to take care of our capital. On day one, I will sign a new executive order to cut federal funding of any school pushing critical race theory, transgender insanity, and other inappropriate racial, sexual, or political content onto the lives of our children.
In those three things, he mentions what he calls transgender insanity. If he's voted in as the next president, what will that mean to you?
We already see so many attacks on our queer community. I already don't feel safe in my own hometown, just dressed in drag like this. And it's very scary for queer people to exist in a time where we see this kind of rhetoric being pushed by our lawmakers and the people who should care about other issues that actually affect the American people, other than attacking our community, our LGBTQIA+ community. It's very disappointing, and I hope for better for our country.
Well, that's Brigitte Bandit. As you can see, show host and producer. I believe at some point it said drag queen as well, and LGBTQIA++ activist. And you just heard Brigitte there lament the fact that he can't walk down the street of his town dressed like that. That people look at him funny when people look at him funny when he walks down his street dressed like that. He just wants people to leave him alone and let him live his life, right? Why do you want to stare at me when I'm dressed like this? Leave me alone. And that, again, spokesperson for the Trump campaign, not allowed to speak. But that segment right there, well, this right here, this is CNN. Did I mention that they're hosting the first presidential debate this Thursday?